She is sure. She is sure. She is strong. She is strong. She is true. She is true. She is brave. She is brave. She is bold. She is bold. She is you.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Word of Mom Radio here on the Word of Mom Media Network. I'm your host, Dori DiCarlo, and we are here with Moms After Dark. And Bobbi is here with me. I'm going to actually turn it over to her to start this conversation tonight. Hey, Bobbi.
Hey, Dori. Yeah, there's so much that's been going on. And in the past year, we have witnessed a masterclass in how and why girls and women easily fall prey to the wealthy among us. We talked about this ad nauseum. To find the evidence, we only need to see how the President of the United States treats women, especially how he's treated the Olympic gold medal winners while having a locker room talk with men who are also gold medal winners. He said that he had to invite the women to the White House. Note that he didn't say they would be celebrating with the women. He said he had to, or he would be impeached by Democrats. The room filled with men erupted in laughter. What a funny joke, right, Dori? Women who worked hard to win a gold medal are a joke, but it doesn't end there.
And it's amazing because we were just talking about this. The women's hockey team, the men's hockey team, they've both won 3 gold medals. But the women's hockey team started in 1998. They have medaled in every single Olympics they have been in. 3 gold, 4 silver, 1 bronze. The men have been playing hockey since 1928 and have won 3 gold medals. And this is their first gold medal since 1980 and the Miracle on Ice. And it's amazing. 5 of those guys did not go to the White House. 5 stepped back, realized what happened in that locker room was wrong and weren't going to continue it. And they got served McDonald's. Where did the women go? They were in Vegas at a Michelin restaurant with Stanley Tucci being celebrated. It's a remarkable thing, the difference. And we were also talking about the fact that the Presidential Medal of Honor was given to the goalie for the United States men's hockey team because he only allowed 5 goals. The women's goalie allowed 2. The difference is so blatant. This man's complete disregard for any kind of an accomplishment that a woman has.
So for years, you and I both have seen this happening in our everyday lives. Other people seeing it happen in their everyday lives. And honestly, when we're younger, we hear the little jokes. And, unless we have a good role model around us, we think, oh, that's just the talk. But, deep down inside, I think most women feel very uncomfortable, even though it has been socialized to us since we were babies, since the moment we were born. This is the type of thing, the type of talk like this, the boys will be boys, men will say what they will do, and you need to respect them. That leads women into very dangerous territory.
Margaret Atwood had it right when she wrote that men are afraid that women will laugh at them. Women are afraid that men will kill them.
Yeah.
And we're witnessing it right now. Tony Gonzalez, representative whose aide supposedly lit herself on fire. I mean, come on. But still, this man has been shown pressuring this woman to send him nude photos and all of these different things. And Mike Johnson is not calling for this man to resign because he doesn't want to lose his majority. Because the second he does, he's out as Speaker of the House, and the Congress will no longer be enabling the pedophile in chief, allegedly.
Mm-hmm.
3 months ago, Megyn Kelly, the same Megyn Kelly, who that man said, oh, she had blood coming out of her eyes, she had blood coming out of her wherever, actually said while she was responding about the Epstein Files on her podcast, he liked, 15-year-old girls. There's a difference between a 15-year-old and a 5-year-old. He liked them looking young, but, they were legal. They were barely legal. But, it's not like he was really a pedophile. Are you kidding me?
What's interesting about that conversation is she heard this from someone else who was very close to Jeffrey Epstein. She was defending Jeffrey Epstein, saying that he wasn't a pedophile. He just liked them young, because she heard that from one of his quote unquote close friends. Her comment led me to question, who was this close friend she was talking to, who knew all of this information and would say, oh, they were only 15-year-olds. And oh, he just liked them young. Where have we heard that before, Dori?
You know what? I think back to the Howard Stern interview.
Yes.
When he asked 47, would you bang a 24-year-old? And he was like, absolutely. And Robin Givens said to him, well, how young is too young for you? And he said, well, I mean, come on, I don't want a 12-year-old. I couldn't believe I was just like, I wouldn't want a 12-year-old.
Yep.
Because 13's fine.
13 was fine.
Great. And this is the same guy who owned the Miss Teen pageants and bragged about being able to walk into those dressing rooms and inspect the girls. He could see them naked and bragged about it. This is the person that you people voted for. People that voted for this man. And you're okay with that. You're okay with the fact that he just brags about whatever he feels like doing to a woman. It's insane.
And the fact that he has said this, and there are girls who have come forward to say, yeah, it did happen to me. But he said their beautiful bodies. He goes into such detail, such vile detail. But, when I think about the things that we have read in the files, and we have the deposition of Katie Johnson. Katie Johnson was 13 years old when she said that she had been raped by Donald Trump. She was raped by Donald Trump and then Jeffrey Epstein, and she had a witness, and that witness signed a statement as well, saying that, yes, she did see the attack. But the thing that we also have to think about is, after he did that to her, he told her, according to Katie Johnson, if she told anyone, she would disappear like Maria. He's threatening a 13-year-old. She and her family would disappear like Maria. Apparently, Katie knew that something happened to a girl named Maria. And there are other statements in the files, people who did not know Katie Johnson, but also stated they were young girls. They saw young girls being killed at his golf course in California, according to the files. In fact, one such girl who came forward said that one of Trump's security agents said she would be fertilizing the back nine if she told anybody, like the other girls. And after she gave that statement to the FBI, she disappeared. They couldn't get a hold of her. Apparently, her remains were recently found, and she was wearing the exact same clothes she was wearing when she gave that statement to the FBI.
There's so many things going on. I mean, this week we learned about the DOJ and the hidden files. One of that 13-year-old girl, she talked to the FBI 4 times, 54 pages of testimony that has disappeared, mentioning some of the worst acts that the president's been reporting to have committed, allegedly, but these are the witnesses coming forward. There is also an additional 3 million files that they have refused to release. And let's face it, if what has already been released is an indication of how horrific the things are, what could be in the 3 million that they don't want seen? And as Americans, we're grappling with all of what has already been released, and we want the whole story. We do. But our government is out there. The GOP right now has decided that they are going to protect the pedophiles. They're going to vilify the victims. We want emails from a dead man before we believe all of these women stepping forward. We talked about it when we talked about in our episode about Pam Bondi. I listened to the witness interview after today. This is the first time I listened to it. And them talking about what it felt like, be so disrespected that she couldn't even turn around. And for her to say, you can call the FBI, and all of them said, we did. We have. We've given our testimony. You just refuse to do anything about it. It's unbelievable that our own government is protecting these people. It's insane. And you know what? Because you and I aren't in a cult. I don't care if you're a Republican, a Democrat, black, white, pink, green, or spotted. If you are guilty of this, you belong in jail. Do I believe that every single person mentioned in the files is a pedophile? No, I don't. Just because you got mentioned because you were at a party and stuff like that does not mean you're guilty of these things. But the people that they know are guilty, those are the names that are being redacted. Look how many men in this country have stepped down, CEOs of huge corporations, because they're in those files and they know that rather than have themselves now dragged, let me just walk away now and do whatever. I'm really hoping, very honestly, that former Prince Andrew throws everyone under the bus because he is guilty. He knows he's guilty, and he knows who the guilty people are. He does. And hopefully he will do the right thing. And now, one of the big things, the reason that 47 wouldn't testify, you can't force a president to testify before Congress. Well, the GOP kind of blew that and set the precedent, bringing in Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton for questioning behind closed doors. And good old Hillary, good for her, because she came out and was like, hey, I told the truth, but then they just kept asking me the same things and they want to get into Pizzagate and everything else. She spent a career defending women. And as First Lady, as Secretary of State, helped get laws in place to protect women. Laws that Trump took off the books. Laws that he took away, protecting women and protecting victims. What
sex trafficking and child sex trafficking laws?
Yeah.
He has removed.
He's removed them.
A person who's trying to end sex trafficking, especially child sex trafficking, would not remove a law that is working to protect those women and children unless he had another law to put in place. So now there is no group of people who are tasked by this organization, this act, to be able to do the work that they have found actually works in this particular type of situation. Apparently, it wasn't good enough because we still have Jeffrey Epstein and we still have all these files, but it was a start. It was something. But now we don't have the information, all of this, all in place to be able to have people who know what they're doing and doing this. And this, forgive me for bringing this up, but this leads me to think about these girls we've been hearing about in ICE detention.
It's frightening. They're taking people off the street and disappearing them.
Yeah.
Forget the detention / concentration camps that they are trying to put up. But women and children, these young girls, these young women, they're gone.
In the ICE detention center that is in Dilley, Texas, they have women, pregnant women, children, and they have teenage girls. There have been many reports of rape by ICE agents, of women in detention centers, of girls in detention centers. But now in Dilley, they have removed the 18 and over girls from the rest of the children and adults in the main detention center. They are calling the zone where they keep these girls the blue butterfly zone. No one outside of ICE has contact with these girls. No one outside of ICE agents are able to reach them. Lawyers are not able to reach them. No, their families are not able to talk to them on the phone. Other people in other areas, in all the other detention centers, have the ability to talk to family. But these girls, they have no idea what is happening to them, where they are, because no one has access to them other than ICE agents.
I keep waiting for Rod Serling to step in and cue the freaking Twilight Zone music. I can't believe this is happening in our own country. I can't believe that we are letting this happen. That the Republicans, because the Democrats they're not the majority. They have been screaming about this for so long, but we are not the majority right now of elected officials. So until some Republicans, now let's pull up the names of the Republicans that are actually speaking out now, because there are some, we were talking about it before, and I know you have the information on it. Enough Republicans, Nancy Mace is trying to get a law passed that if you rape a child, that you're going to get the death penalty, period. It should already be a law. If you kill a cop, that's the death penalty sentence. I'm sorry, if you're raping children, if you're raping, period, it should be a death sentence. But if you're raping children, it really should be. China has it right. In that sense, when it comes to the death sentence, you're found guilty, you get one appeal, and when you lose that appeal, they take you out back, they put a bullet in your head, and they send your family a bill for that. That's a death penalty that'll actually deter people. If you're going to have a death penalty, then you should use it. So what are the names of the Republicans now? We know Massey. Who are the other Republicans?
In the Senate, there is John Kennedy, Tom Tillis, Chuck Grassley, and Susan Collins. They are all calling for the release of every file that mentions Donald Trump abusing girls, because those are the ones that have been in. Any of the files with complaints of him abusing children. The one that the girl was interviewed several times. And they said unequivocally that they are not going to forget. They are going to continue, and it's plain and simple. All he has to do is release all of those files, unredacted for his name. The only names that should be redacted are the victims. They don't want to see pictures of naked minors. They don't want to see pictures of minors. They want to see the documentation of what has been said that Donald Trump has done.
You know, Grassley, Johnson, and Tillis, those are old men with wives and daughters and granddaughters and probably great-granddaughters, and they're scared shitless over it because this could be happening to any of them.
Yeah.
It's insane because let's face it, we know that ICE agents have been accused of raping women while they've been in custody. And the worst part of this is that this administration doesn't care. They are running this country like it is an autocracy. They can do whatever they want. The Supreme Court said you can't do tariffs. So I'm just going to do them anyway. Because Mike Johnson, he's enabling all of this. This guy was one of the architects of Project 2025. He wrote the amicus brief on January 6th, trying to overturn a lawful election. I can't believe we've got a guy in office who's still complaining about the 2020 election. It's insane and everything. Let's try to deflect everything. And Kate Collins is the only reporter out there that's like, no, I want answers to these questions. When is legacy media actually going to do their jobs and stop letting this guy speak to the women the way he does? He doesn't say that, he doesn't talk to the men like that, but the women, oh, you're fake news. Oh, shut up. Quiet, piggy. Are you kidding me? It blows my mind. It just blows my mind. Walter Cronkite's got to be spinning in his grave. I bet if you go to the cemetery where he is, it's kicking up dirt. The guy's got to be spinning like a top as to what the media is allowing this man to get away with.
Honestly, it's been a long time since we've had people who are actually reporting the news rather than more trying to make the news.
Right.
When I worked for the Screen Actors Guild, I was one of the most interviewed executive directors in the entire guild. Every single time they interviewed me, they had an agenda and they wanted me to confirm their agenda. And when I didn't, they would edit my comments so it sounded like I was saying exactly what they wanted. The news anymore is just public opinion. This is the idea we want to push. And now they've become cowards. We do have some excellent reporting, NPR reporting on those missing files, and then
The Midas Touch. Great
Midas Touch.
podcasts.
At the Atlantic. The Atlantic is
Absolutely.
amazing. Mother Jones. I will call
Absolutely.
all of those out.
This is where, if you want to hear what's
Mhm.
going on, that's why he's trying to silence Jimmy Kimmel and
Mhm.
Stephen Colbert
Mhm.
and Seth Meyers. And he wants all of these guys taken off the air because they speak the truth, and it's the truth that they don't want shown. They don't want said. And you know what? Let's go all the way back. Ronald Reagan, thank you very much. That's where this all began. Because before Ronald Reagan changed the FCC rules, and you know this, you had to be able to verify something you put on the news 3 different sources because they had to report the truth.
Yep.
Then Reagan changed the FCC ruling, which is what has led to Fox and all of these entertainment channels that are saying their news. And they pick their headlines, they pander to their base. It was listening to Bondi and then listening to Fox News spin it about how these radical Democrats were trying to make her look bad. We didn't have to make her look bad. She made herself look bad. She couldn't even turn around and look at these women. To hear them talking, like I said, I listened to their interview today. To hear them talking about what that made them feel like, that they had the guts to come forward, that they've been coming forward for years and going to the FBI and everything else. And then these files come out, and the only redacted names were the men who did these things to them. Their names were there, some of their addresses were there.
Phone numbers.
This is
It's
what our government is enabling.
Sickening. You know what I heard though, back to Jimmy Kimmel and Stephen Colbert, when the incident happened with Jimmy Kimmel and he was taken off the air for a week, a little over a week, there were 1,600 complaints into the FCC. 30 of them were about Jimmy Kimmel's comments. That means 15,970 complaints about them taking him off the air. That and one of the things that I heard long ago is for every person who complains, there are 10,000 people who feels exactly the same.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. And you know what? Let's face it, they were boycotting everything that had to do with CBS and everything else. Same thing with Colbert. All that's going to happen is these guys are going to create their own late night stuff off the channels so they don't have to worry about anything. It's unbelievable that we have somebody sitting in the highest office in the land that cares nothing about anyone but himself. And anyone who gets in his way, anyone who has anything bad to say about him. And again, until these Republicans, they need to woman up, is really what they need to do.
Exactly.
Obviously, manning up isn't doing shit for this country.
Yeah.
So they need to have the guts that the women who have come out, I can't, how I feel about Marjorie Taylor Greene. And I would have had a lot more respect for her if she had retired, the day before her pension kicked in instead of the day after. But man, she is all over the place talking about all of this.
Yep.
Receiving death threats, her family's receiving death threats. Thomas Massey is out there going, I'm not suicidal. My tires are good. My car is fine. If anything happens to me, they did something. It's insane that this is what is happening. How all of these people, Virginia Dufresne, she wrote in her book that she wasn't suicidal. But now the coroner's gone back and now it's in question.
I didn't know that. That's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, it was actually, she wrote it in her book.
Yeah. Oh, I knew about that, but I didn't know the coroner was.
Oh, yeah, they're going back and looking at things.
I've seen some crazy things, but in the coroner's report, they are now saying that, well, in the coroner's report, the body they show doesn't have Jeffrey Epstein's tribal tattoo on his left arm, left or right arm. Can't remember. But another thing is, in the coroner's report, he said that Jeffrey Epstein's prostate was enlarged. Jeffrey Epstein was concerned with cancer, some issues with that in the past. He didn't have a prostate. He'd had it removed. There's a picture of a man in Israel with longer hair, beard and mustache, full beard and mustache, and he's wearing a t-shirt. And there's a little bit of a tattoo, looks like it could be the same tattoo. And have you seen the video of Ghislaine Maxwell in Canada?
I have not.
Oh my gosh, girl. There is a video that a man took. There was a woman and he walked up and on the video, this is Ghislaine, and she looked and she did a double take. He said, "Are you Ghislaine Maxwell?" And she said, "Oh no, that's not me." And it was the same accent. She had white hair coming out from under her big fluffy hat. But when you look at the video from when she did a Zoom meeting with the judge, just like a couple weeks ago, people were pointing out that when she was in prison, her hair was down to her shoulders. It was all one length. But in that video, it was really short again, looked kind of like a wig. And she was wearing these really big, really thick black glasses. But still, you could see her eyes, and the eyes did not look the same. And the nose was a very different shape. She has a long, narrow nose. Go look it up. You can see it. The nose is larger, fatter. She had Ghislaine Maxwell's accent, but that's not hard to do. That's not hard to train somebody to do. So have these people gotten away with it and now they're walking free around the world somewhere? There's also an email from 2021 to the Health and Human Services Department saying the subject is Jeffrey Epstein. And they said, in Arizona, it's this time. And Jeffrey doesn't usually get up at this time, but I've seen him on meetings at 9 a.m. He's in Colorado now, though. They were talking about getting Jeffrey Epstein, in the Epstein Files, in one of the emails in his files. Who released that without having looked at it is a little shocking to me, but either somebody intentionally released that to let us know Jeffrey Epstein is still alive, and at the time was in Colorado in 2021, reminding the audience that he supposedly died in 2019.
Wow.
If you put this in a movie, people would laugh at you. They would say it's so unrealistic. This timeline is the craziest timeline there is. Craziest.
Now, I guess we can wrap up that way. And like I said, Rod Serling coming in. This is the Twilight Zone. Because at this point, I put nothing past this administration. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Bobbi, thank you for being here. I really appreciate your expertise. Cue the Twilight Zone music. Do, 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 do. So
I want to say one thing, though, before we're totally gone now. I do believe that there is work happening behind the scenes. And I've heard it from different sources now, Republicans and Democrats, that there is work behind the scenes. And when all of this is over, I expect to see some tremendous changes. Laws that aren't just toothless laws, but laws that protect women and girls and children. and that will keep us from having anyone in that White House that will allow this type of stuff to happen ever again. We need a remedy to stop it.
And biggest remedy is getting out and voting. And you know what? Here's the thing. Voting for the Democrats does not mean that you drank the Democratic juice, you Republicans out there. It just means that you love your country enough to elect the people that will make this stop. And the Republicans have shown they're not going to. Once the majority flips and the Democrats can bring it, then I think there are going to be Republicans that are going to jump on the bandwagon and make sure this guy is taken out of office before he can just wipe everything out in this country. Because if he gets his way, the 2026 elections are going to be hard enough, but 2028 is not even going to happen. Your vote matters. And that's where I want to leave you. So we will be back because we will not be silent about what is going on. Bobbi, thank you very much for your passion, your expertise, and how much you care.
My pleasure. I am not giving up. I am here until all of this has been taken care of. I am not going anywhere.
Right back at you. And this is Dori DiCarlo saying we'll see you next time.
She is sure, she is sure, she is strong, she is strong, she is true, she is true. She is brave, she is brave, she is bold, she is bold, she is you.